1:38 o'clock.
Hello, everybody. If I can hit the right button there. Welcome to the Paranormal, guys. I'm glad you're here. We've got a great show lined up for tonight. First, I need to change this up here and let everybody know we are live on yergsradio.com. And you can go and listen to us there if you can't watch us. And you can also find us on the news station. We're with the Rainbow Radio Network. I'm bringing these numbers up right now. If you want to call us, the toll-free lines are open that they provide for us. 1-888-88-YERGZ or 1-844-GAY-LGBT. So you can call us on either of those. Chat's open, phone lines open. Let's see who we got hiding in the back here. I have my new paranormal mistress, Amanda. And then I have Miss Cheyenne. How are you?
Hanging on by a thread.
Well, that's a song, too. I'll play that later for you. All right. Well, our guest, Cyn, is fresh out of the tornado shelter from last time we saw you.
Right. Glad to be out of it.
Yeah, I bet. Well, we're glad you're okay. So
Me too.
How have you been? What's going on? Tell us all the good stuff.
It's just been crazy busy. Same as you guys. Just, putting shows on, trying to get information out, and still trying to catch up on these books.
Yeah, you've got, 3? How many do you have now? 5. Okay. I can't count.
Yeah. Working on number 6, 7, and 8.
At the same time?
Wow. Kind of, but I'm actually working on Mark's next book. And I can't get, that's why I've got 3 of mine going at the same time, because I can't get mine out until I finish his. He does my illustrations and the covers, and I edit for him and put his books together. So we
gotcha.
Back and forth, that kind of thing. That's the kind of payment we do. And so until I get his out, mine are just kind of stymied a little bit, but the next 3.
Wow.
Well, so have you had any new or crazy paranormal adventures?
Let's see. Since I have spoken to you guys, I don't know, had I been to Brushy yet? Brushy Mountain?
I was just thinking, I don't think we got into talking long enough for you to really tell us about your experiences.
Yeah, I think she started with one, but it wasn't a Brushy Mountain, but and then you had to bail on us because of the weather. So
yeah, it was probably telling you my husband had started going with me on hunts, and he started this year. He's been going to Paracons with me and started to do book signings with me because that was what my nephew always did. So Greg kind of stepped in and took up the slack there and helped me out. But he started actually going on investigations as well. And in January, that was his first actual hunt. And we went to Linden, Tennessee, to the old Commodore Hotel with Eric Freeman Sims and Regina Blatt and some of them from the Nashville area. And let's see, in March, we went up to Franklin, Kentucky and went through Octagon Hall, but did not investigate it. We investigated the jail, the Old Stone Jail, and the archives across the road, and then Brushy Mountain Penitentiary and Night House, which is Eric's new haunted house that he's just purchased up in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. And look up Night House. It is in Hopkinsville, home of the goblins. All that.
That's
kind of
where my
stuff.
family's from. The
Right?
Little Green Man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they're opening up the Night House, which was built in the early 1820s, 1821 to 25, something like that. And they are fixing it up, and they've already got, I know, two. Bob Dahl is one of the first scheduled people going up there and to investigate and do a live stream from there.
Awesome.
There's another one scheduled, I know, for the 28th, but he's starting to get the calendar ready for teams to book it. So
That's really cool.
pretty.
Awesome.
So we did that. We were the
Nice.
inaugural investigation, so that was pretty fun.
Oh, cool.
Did you have any good activity or?
We had just a little bit. You know, Eric has only had it for just maybe 3 months. He's not had it long, and it's incredible how much work that they've already brought up. The grounds look different. It's just amazing how much work they've put into it. You know, while they were there, even working around the house, they would hear footsteps and people murmuring and things like that. I got to just sense a couple of things. I didn't see anything. And I have as yet to go through all of my audio yet. So hopefully I've got some things. We did hear some things come through on the spirit box, but again, I don't know exactly what it was because I've not been able to listen that carefully to it. But hopefully something.
Yeah, you've had some good results there at the hospital by you, right? And
Oh, crazy results there. Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about some of those, because I think a hospital to me, of course, I'm a paramedic, is fascinating. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
haunted hospital.
I think
Well,
they are.
so I started my very first investigation was in July 2013 there. And we actually started in the afternoon. It was like 3:30 in the afternoon. And I heard with my own ears this great moan like you would hear on a in a haunted house on TV or something, you know, one of those, oh, you know, that kind of thing. And I was like, did I just wait a minute? What? It was like, and I even spoke out and said, if you're trying to scare me, you're going to have to do a little better than that. And
Do something less generic, buddy.
yeah. I mean, I automatically went to Scooby-Doo in my head.
You know, I thought about Casper the Friendly Ghost when you said that, actually.
Right? So, and I did also catch it on a recorder. So it wasn't just that I heard it, I did catch it there too. But hearing it was great. I got my first Class A EVP there as well that afternoon, and it was a very curt "get out." So that was always good. Shadow figures there, death lights, just a lot going on there. After they had more teams coming in, the atmosphere changed, and you know, some groups come in knowing exactly what to do. And in 2013, I was just starting out. I did not know what to do. So getting trained, you know, was my main focus on how to find these voices, how to actually investigate. Oh, hi, Jenny. And, you know, I had a lot to learn, and I still have a lot to learn, and as we all do. But hopefully we're getting a little closer to finding some things out. The hospital is just, it has gone into a more darker place now. I'm going to mention a show. Is that okay?
Oh, absolutely. We're not opposed to other shows.
So Ghost Adventures came down to the hospital.
Because you were the one who told me, because I asked about Zach. You said he was very
Okay.
nice.
So we did talk about that.
Just because you had, I believe at the time you had said you had worked with a couple of the famous show people, and I had
And
asked about Zach.
because you're a fan.
Well, there is a part of me that's a fan, and then the other part finds it incredibly goofy what they do. Um, but after you had told me that, kind of changed my perspective on things.
Yeah.
Um, which makes his or um their Tiger King episode all the more funny to me, or their mini documentary or whatever. Um, but they probably didn't like his juju. He came in with some bad juju.
No, and after he left, something stayed. So something dropped off of him, and it just makes you wonder.
Then maybe you did start to mention that, because now that
Yeah,
you're saying that, it's clicking in my head that I believe you had said something like that.
yeah. It got a little bit darker after they left. Um, it just makes you wonder how many hitchhikers he has, and if he even cares.
Probably
Um,
more than we'd care to know about.
exactly, exactly. And some aren't ones that we care to even know about.
Hmm.
And whatever dropped off of him at the old hospital is not a really good friendly person. Here's legit tumblers. Hey, you guys.
They
Um,
are legit.
yes, they are. Yes, they are. Um, I don't
But I
know.
think I think it was part of the conversation we were having last time too, that he just opens himself up so much to everything that.
Yeah, he's gonna get bit if he hasn't
He's
already. He's gonna get bit.
he's a very bizarre individual from everybody I've talked to that's met him.
Just
He
a
is. I've
little.
met him before.
Just
And
a
And
little.
he just it's like
yeah.
he doesn't close the door to anything.
And that's
No.
that's where there becomes a
That's the,
problem.
yeah, oh, exactly. You
Because
have to
I would
close
have
the door.
liked to have thought that he was like, maybe a little out there, but not a total a-hole. But
Right.
He seemed
whenever
very arrogant when I met him.
it
I've heard that
sounds
from multiple
sounds
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds accurate.
Yeah.
But if you have been doing what you're doing long enough, regardless of what his reasoning was for starting it, you know, you've been in the business long enough to know or to learn things. I think that would be common sense by that point. That,
Safety.
no, if you're going to open the door, you darn well better shut it.
that should be
Exactly.
like lesson one. I mean, you know,
Yeah, he might as well, his screen door is just flopping in the breeze.
Yeah. It's not even a cold screen door. It's one of those Dutch doors that he has the top open the whole time.
It might as well be some saloon doors. There's a
Yeah.
little bit of something there, but
Not much. Not much. I know watching the old Ram Inn that they went to in the UK, and him laying in the floor, waiting for the succubus to come to. You know, I was like,
yeah,
if
bit
you
much.
have some marks on your genitalia in the morning, that is on you.
Yeah, he's a bit much, but
To me, I
yeah,
think he's trying to get right up there with the Warrens too. Not now he has his own haunted museum, but I mean,
right, right.
regardless of their mishaps, whatever, you're never going to beat the Warrens.
No.
Right.
Nope.
And I will say that he is a marketing genius as far as he's come,
Hmm.
or whoever is marketing for him. If it's not him, they've made him lots and lots of money.
Well, and see, like that's the thing too. Like I don't care for him now, but you still want to watch it. But I think a lot of it is like, okay, what stupid stuff's gonna come out of his mouth, or because
it's like watching a train wreck.
if you, yeah, It's you're just like, uh, 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 uh.
I
Like
mean, you can.
if you haven't watched like I don't think it was a docu-series, but I think it was like maybe an hour and a half documentary that Ghost Adventures did that's on Netflix. They are doing their readings and everything from Joe Exotic's
I
former
haven't.
park.
Uh huh. Oh, I don't know if I could stomach it.
Right?
I mean,
It's just, the whole time you're just like,
Well,
why?
even when we're out in the woods researching Bigfoot, we come across other things. And we close the door when we leave because we've had team members that have had things go back with them. And we were in the woods, so you don't know what that was.
No.
Is so yeah, we've learned pretty quickly. You got to close that door. So, and there's some doors you don't want to open as well. So
No, that's true.
Well,
That's
and I mean, some people also don't want to. So if that's the road that he's heading, then
yeah, well, there could be
Godspeed.
ramifications for it, because now, Cyn, have you ever had anyone or I shouldn't say anyone, anything touch you?
Oh, well, yeah, different places have been touched. Never hurt. I've never been scratched or slapped or anything like that, but touched, yes. Felt my hair being kind of not really pulled, but kind of stroked a little bit, that kind of thing. Nothing that terrified me,
Gotcha.
but I'm not gonna ask for an incubus to come to my room. I was talking to somebody the other night about, there's some people that have these ghost lovers and do not want to let them go. And I'm thinking, dude, if you could actually see these things, would you really keep them?
This is my shadowy figure husband.
Yeah. Well, supposedly that's out there. I have never had a guest to talk to anybody, but I've heard that it's out there.
Oh my goodness!
There was a girl on TikTok that like did a thing too. Like she lived down in Louisiana and she met a ghost, who was a former soldier, and I'm just like, oh, okay, you had me for a little bit, but now it's just getting. I think you might need to get some help.
Was that her boyfriend now?
Yeah.
No. See, no.
Yeah, not a fan.
Well, and the thing too is I'm pretty sure she had a boyfriend, but also she had a ghost side piece.
So, but was it a threesome?
No, there was specifications in regards to that. Their ghost to human relationship was not sexual; it was an emotional relationship.
Okay.
Yeah. Me too. I'm just going.
I don't get it.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah, there's that curse. Bless your heart.
Yeah, exactly. There's some deep psychological counseling that needs to take place with that.
Right?
And I mean,
we don't know what they are. Really.
Girls talking about it as serious as anything, and she was like reacting back to comments that people had put up, and I'm just like, just stop while you're ahead.
I mean, we don't know what they are. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's your dead Uncle Fred," but how do you know that? It's not like they give you an ID,
That's the thing. That's that they can show themselves the way they think would be the best for you to perceive them as.
Yes.
Not the way they really are.
Well, and the thing too, the only I feel like benefit more if they're in like a house or a hospital or an asylum or something is you get a little more context as to who it could be. But like thinking of what Glenn was talking about being up in the woods, that might as well be opening your backseat to a hitchhiker.
Right.
I mean, we got to be honest. This earth is very old, and there's got to be burial grounds that we don't know about. So,
Definitely.
Well, just
And
'cause
not to
that goes
mention
to
the wars that we've had, in the U.S. So I mean, prior to, I guess, modern history, but yeah, you don't know.
No.
So
and just because
Mm.
that
That's what
goes
I
to
think
tells
about
you,
being out here on the farmland. We're out here on this river, and they ran boats through here all the time. So who knows what happened on this land? And now we've built this house, and I had something pinch me in the kitchen, and we've seen the people walking across the deck. Who knows who it
Wow.
is or what it is?
Or how long ago they were there.
Right?
when you
Yeah.
say you've seen them, were they actual like me and you, or were they like a dark shadow?
I
Or
thought I saw my husband walk across the deck, and he was just in another room.
wow,
Nice.
Yeah.
we had
Yeah.
Yeah.
we had a cat in Virginia that could be in 3 places at the same time. Freaked me out as
Nice.
a child. Yeah. So, because you never knew which one was real. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's interesting. What, Sen, what do you think these things are? Is it our dead Uncle Fred, or
It can be, but it can also be something totally different. It can be something that never really was alive. It could be, Napoleon. We don't know. We don't know. All we can do is guess and try to take any kind of voices that we get and to attach them to any other kind of evidence that we hopefully can get. But other than that, we still don't really truly know.
with you going into the hospital so much, have you had any, I don't want to call it a regular, but something that you could say is
reoccurring.
consistent?
Yes, yes. We've had 2 or 3 things that are consistent. One is, I'm pretty sure she's residual. It's a nurse that has been up on the 2nd floor around the operating rooms and down on the 1st floor. But the only way you know that she's around, she's never spoken to us. We've never caught her on any kind of film, any kind of camera, anything like that. But we know she's around by this god awful Avon perfume. And it was like the 1970s floral. Oh,
Oh God.
take a
Like the
bath
really,
in it.
like the really crappy rose scented
Yeah,
stuff.
but like times 100. It was one of the ones that will give you a headache if you.
I don't want a magazine. Gosh,
I wonder how they do that. I mean, it's just so fascinating to me, because even the Bigfoot phenomena, you don't always smell them, but when they want you to smell them, you smell them.
And I heard that's not a nice smell.
It woke me up in my tent cot one night. I was dead asleep, and I was about to puke.
Oh,
And I'm a paramedic. I've seen and smelled some pretty bad things. And I mean, I was literally gagging. So
Oh.
yeah. And they were all around the camp that night. So yeah. And they weren't happy. And I've said this before, is that's the only time I had unholstered my 357 and I laid it right here on my chest. I was like, all right, I'm not going to play if you come in the tent cot.
So you didn't peek out the tent or anything?
No. Well, tent cot is really what it is. It's a cot with a tent over it, so there's not a whole lot of room to maneuver in there.
Oh,
So
Was that the same time you got dragged?
No, that was up in the Northeast Georgia mountains in the tent cot. So, but no, that night they weren't friendly, and they mimicked some of the people in camp, their voice, and because my son was one of them. And it just blew me away. And I was like, all right, you're out here messing around. You're too close. That's the closest. And there was multiple. So I was like, he don't touch the tent cot. We're going to have holes in the tent cot.
but
It's
but you
funny,
think it was cryptid?
I'm pretty sure that was a Bigfoot of some sort. Yeah. because they were being, there was at least 3 of them. They were being loud. They weren't trying to be quiet. They weren't like turning over our stuff in camp or anything, but you could tell they were out there like sniffing around and picking stuff up and grunting to each other and whistling. And they knew I woke up. They have some type of connection where they can detect there's some, that's not really a good word, but I guess they have a
Kind of a
awareness
sense.
about them that's different. Plus, I probably moved or made some noise, and so
I like to think it's like Predator. They're like scanning the camp.
Ooh.
well, they could see in a different light spectrum, and so therefore they may be able to see through the tent cot. I mean, the government has technology now where they can look into your house from outside and see exactly where you are in the house. So, and it's just using a different light spectrum. So is it unreasonable to think that that's what that is, so, or they can do that? So I don't think so. I mean, if you put up the motion detector lights, you'll see bugs and stuff come to it, so they obviously can see it. So
It's funny when you were talking about the really bad perfume. One of my former coworkers had bought some furniture off of a really close client of ours when their father passed away. And he had like a brand new couch and this really, it was a nice smaller chair and a really nice recliner that used to be the dad's. And when you walk in, you can very clearly see every day which side of the recliner would lean on. And she was saying that there will be some evenings that she sits there and she'll just it's almost like somebody just right in her face, that she'll get like a smell of that like original Old Spice cologne, because he used to get himself all done up for a guy to come into the bank every morning to make the deposits, and then he would go to the cemetery and see his wife. But she said it was literally like somebody took baby powder and was just like right in her face. And she's got really bad asthma, so
Oh no.
it's like making her cough for a while after.
Oh no.
We always called him old man, but his family always called him grandpa, because the father and son owned a business together, and they're both have the same name. So the business is called Roosters. So the son, his name would call him Rooster, and then his dad we would call Old Man. So his family everybody would just call him Grandpa. So she'll start like hacking up a lung, and she's like, "All right, Grandpa, I get it. Trust me, I haven't forgotten about you."
Well, Cyn, in all your research, have you had anything that's scared you or made you second guess everything that you're doing?
Not second guess. I've had 3 instances that have actually startled me, scared me. And it was all 3 times, it was something I couldn't see, but I felt it. And it's what I call rushing. It's something rushes up and is as close as they can get without touching you. The loudest silent scream but you can feel vibrations, and it's just to terrify you. All 3 times I was walking by myself, twice in the hospital, back to get another piece of equipment, and I was by myself. The 3rd time I was actually on vacation in Helen, Georgia, and we had gotten a cabin. My husband had fallen asleep. He's an early bird anyway. I'm a night owl. But I woke up to have to go to the restroom, and instead of bothering him and going to the master bath, I went to the other end of the cabin. And when I passed the stairwell that went down to the game room, something rushed up out of it. and it was just right there. And I've all 3 times I make myself not jump, not react, just keep walking. But I kept that night, I kept walking to the other bathroom and closed the door. And once I got inside, I went, oh no, why didn't I go back to the other bathroom? Why didn't I go back to the master bathroom?
Now I gotta pass it
When
again.
I open this door, I'm going to see whatever this thing is. And, my husband will find me in the morning. But it took me a couple of minutes to open that door back up. When I did, nothing was there. It was back in the stairwell. But the next day we went into the little town. It took us forever to find a smudge stick, but got that, came back, and my husband helped me. He was like, I don't know what to do. Follow me. Just follow me. Say what I say. And so we got it out of there. But I never thought about having to carry sage on a vacation.
Yeah.
Never.
You do now?
I do.
There's nothing worse than that feeling of like something's there, but you can't. Like it's almost like I'd rather flat out see a ghostly figure from afar than feel something that you can't see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's terrifying if you can't see it. It's just like being in solid dark. And that's when, you're in a new place and it's solid pitch black and you can hear things, but you can't see them. What is that? What is that?
That is why I'm scared to death of the dark.
Try being a firefighter and crawling around in these places.
Ooh.
Oh, gosh.
Weirdly, with all the equipment, I would feel more protected.
Yeah.
But if I'm like just sitting here in the dark, I would just...
We had one fire we fought, and it was upstairs. And so we came in the front door, made a left to go up the stairs, and made a push on the fire. When I say make a push, that's when you take the wire and you're pushing the fire back, basically. And we got it out. It was like a bathroom closet. It was like just 2 rooms. And so we all come back down. We're resting. Then we got to go back up and do this. Top of the stairs, old paneling in his house, there was an outline from the shoulders up of a person. And I'm like, was there, because I mean, it could have been a firefighter, because that much heat would have damaged the gear. I was like, was there like a figure here? Was there, like a statue, or was and they're like, no, there's nothing here. There was a window to the right. And then there was the little tiny wall that was where the bathroom started, and you went by that wall and into the closet. And that was the weirdest thing, and we couldn't explain it. We even told the fire marshal, said, we got no idea what the hell that burn pattern is. No idea. And we were literally right there by it, pushing the fire past it. And it's perfectly, the plywood paneling was just like normal from like the chest up, a figure, and then it was burnt and smoky everywhere else. That was creepy.
Wow.
That was very creepy.
They're very, very pure coincidence, or you helped burn something the crap out of there.
Well, I mean, we didn't see anything. Of course, we were not looking for that. So, but yeah, that was afterwards. We all kind of shook our head and was like, none of us had a clue, because we even went and looked to see if maybe they had like a statue or something hanging on the wall or something, and it melted and fell down. But it would have come right down the stairs at us, and we'd have had to crawl over it, So, and we couldn't find anything in the house that matched that, and so we were like, okay, that's weird. I don't know what the homeowner does here, but ta-ta for now. We are out.
I was gonna say, let's go.
And it's still a mystery.
Yeah, not a fan of that. I've never been a fan of things that go bump in the night like that. I'd rather have big furry things out in the woods. So I grew up in 2 haunted houses. Not a fan. So
it's like I'll take the giant hairy thing that smells like rotting flesh, as opposed to the thing that I can't see.
Yeah, I can rip my head off with one swing. Yeah,
But it would be, at least it would be quick. You're not suffering.
Right.
I don't know. I've told you what my luck would probably be. So, yeah.
One day I will make you sign paperwork that says you have to tell me if that happens.
When we meet, I will tell you. Yeah, I mean, when we investigate these things, even with the Bigfoot phenomenon, we think we know what it is, but do we really? I mean, it's not a big monkey in the woods, or by now we probably have some pictures of it or some people seen it. So, and usually where there's activity of one thing, there's activity of something else. We've noticed that pattern. Have you ever noticed that pattern?
Mm-hmm. I'm starting to wonder if it's all connected. Are the cryptids, aliens, ghosts, is it all, one big thing, and they're just on different vibrations, different energy, whatever. Mm-hmm. Is it all one thing?
Listening to him and Bobby talk, I will start having the same existential crisis. I'm just like, but what if it is all aliens?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's it. Or demonic. I mean,
No, I'm not putting that bad juju out there, but
I mean, you don't know.
It's aliens.
Well, I mean, Cyn, have you met Trey Hudson? He's in Lower Alabama. Yeah, he is our team leader, and we have an area we go, and we've had voices, we've had UFOs, we've had Bigfoot. So we've had everything in this one area. And he wrote a great book called Weird Shapes. I had a weird person. So
now weird people are just all over the South, so you got to overlook that one.
I tried to tell him that too, but considering the ways off the trail they were, it was less likely.
Okay.
So I was like, are you sure this wasn't just a drunk lady that stumbled upon the camp?
I don't want to waste your show time with telling it, but yeah, it was a woman in black. I'm convinced of it. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Trey. I'm a whole chapter in Trey's book. So. So chapter 13. So.
Great book. Yeah. You should check it out.
Mm-hmm. I will.
Yeah, Cyn, have you been to Waverly?
Not yet. It's on my bucket list. Have you?
My grandmother was there when she had TB.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you gone
she made
yet?
It out. I haven't gone. And it's about an hour from me.
Oh, that's not far at all.
Yeah. I'll have to get your information, so if you come this way, we can go.
Yes, please.
I'd love to go.
Girls' Day at the sanatorium.
Yes, you're not too far either.
No, not too far.
You'll have to come up.
I would love to. I would love to.
Yeah, that would be cool.
We might as well just move in at that point with how crazy we all are.
Just tell me about it, because I'm not going to go unless there's.
You're not?
No, like I said, I'm not a fan of the ghosts. I'm not a fan. So
but
bad experience.
What if it's all connected?
Yeah. I can't argue. Yeah, I mean, you can't argue. So
did you notice all three of us were holding our head the same way just then? All three of us were looking at you like, how is this?
There's your
probably in the other room doing the same thing. So
I like them. I really like them a lot. I mean, I like you too.
Well, thank you. I'm glad.
You start feeling like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Here's the story. That's lovely ladies.
When I started this venture a little over a year and a half ago, I've had quite a few people, and I think I finally found the perfect ones. They haven't managed to keep me out of trouble yet, but so.
Then you don't have any fun.
Right.
It's hard to not to say something stupid.
If I can't keep myself out of trouble, then it's a lost cause.
Right.
The only time I'm on my toes is when we're putting it on FM. Of course, this will be on FM at some point, so I don't really worry about the paranormal guys. But our other show, I'm like really tense. Somebody's going to say something, and then I'm going to have to answer for it. But
just need a bleep button. Bleep.
I got one, but the problem is by the time I realize that to hit the damn thing, it's too late.
I wouldn't be quick enough to catch that kind of stuff.
No.
No, it's you can sometimes in post editing. I've been able to, but some shows I just send it to them. I was like, just let them deal with it. I'm not going to.
But like with like the when it comes to like the ghosts and the demons thing, like I'm so interested, but it scares the crap out of me. But when we ended up going to the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, I was like, put me up front. Whoever's going to see it, it's going to be me first. Get out of the way.
Was like, keep her.
That's also on my bucket list.
Definitely worth it. I was a little disappointed that they're actually renovating some of it to look.
Really?
I believe it's on the lower floors or on the first floor to make some of them look like what it would have looked at the time. But no, I had two different things there, and we get to going straight, and I'm right at the front with my camera because I'm like, whatever we see, I'm gonna be the first one to see it. And then they have us walking up so many stairs that I'm lagging behind with the guy walking at the end of the group. Then a door just slammed shut, and I like stopped dead, and I was like, "Did you hear that?" And he's like, "Did you?" And I was like, "I don't know. Let's keep going."
Have you had voices so close to you that you could feel their breath?
Well, the rushing, you can feel that come up on you.
Okay.
And you can feel the vibration of whatever they're yelling. And I think that's even more terrifying. I've heard my name called a couple of times in my right ear.
Huh.
And that was, I didn't really appreciate that either. Because I was in the basement of my friend Valerie's store in town here, Lincoln County, and she was having some disturbances. So she said, come in and just do a little investigation, see what you find. So Sean, my co-founder, and I went, and we ended up down in the basement. And, basements are creepy anyway.
Yes.
Well, this one in town on the square, this one had a well in the bottom of it. And, those can kind of be problematic anyway. But I was back in that room. They had all gone out ahead of me, and I heard Cindy. And I said, "Did you all hear that?" Nobody heard it. And I heard it a second time, just as clear as can be. And then what I thought was a growl, but it was not a growl. They were actually saying something. So when I got home, I put it into my computer and ran it through Audacity and picked out that spot, and it said, "Cindy, right here, you can take our place."
What?
Oh, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm not. I will not. I don't want that.
All right, excuse
Not
the
a
freak out of
reservation.
me.
Wow.
No.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fingers crossed she hasn't seen any creepy soaking wet children coming up out of the well or any clowns. So
No.
Was it You Have 7 Days? Was that
Yep.
from that movie? Yeah.
Right.
I don't know, when we're talking about creepy basement and well, I think of it too. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
as long as there's no children eating clowns, then we're good.
One night as I was about to go to sleep, I was rolled over on my right side, all snuggled up. Something bends over. I say bends over. I don't know. It could have been just short. And whispers right in my ear so that only I can hear it and I can feel the air. It says, "She knows everything."
Oh.
And I was like, all right, it's time for me to sit up and wake up, because first off, I need to know who the she is.
Your wife has some friends, and she asked a favor.
Well. So yeah, I was like, so yeah, that was a night I didn't sleep very well. But then I've talked to some other people, and there's pranksters in real life. How do we know that there's not pranksters in the afterlife? You were what you were here when you are there, if there is what we think it is.
That's right.
If that makes sense.
That's right. If you were a jerk in real life, you were probably going to be a jerk as a ghost.
Sure.
Yeah. I have a friend whose mom got real sick, and she told her before she died that after she was gone, she was going to come back and grab her toes at night while she slept. Well, she had a reading done, and the woman told her, she said, your mom wants you to know that she will not bother your toes while you sleep at night.
Oh, snap.
Thank God.
Wow.
So she was relieved after she had that reading done.
Wow.
It was funny in our childhood home growing up too. My mom had a very distinct way of saying Cheyenne when she would yell for me, and weirdly enough, it was always if I like had my headphones on, and I would hear Cheyenne, and I'm like, what? I'm cleaning. I'm doing what you asked me to do, and she's like, I didn't yell at you, and I was like, you did twice. And I would always hear it in twos like that. And eventually I'm like, well, if she actually yelled, she'll come up here and find me and be peeved about it then. Obviously something's just but
Should hit you with a flip-flop.
It sounded just like my mother.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes you wonder.
Yeah. We've had a couple of mimics at the old hospital. I've heard Sean's voice, and he wasn't there. And I know his voice because of all the investigations we've done together, but he was not in the room when this happened, and I got it recorded. So that's kind of freaky.
And it's funny thinking back on it too, like, because it was just kind of a normal thing I was used to, that I had never told anybody that, but it always felt like she was yelling, because you had to go down 2 stairs to where she would sit in her recliner, and then if you went around that wall, it led into like a utility bathroom, and it sounded like she would be yelling from down there when it would have been a lot louder had she just been yelling from sitting down in her recliner. So it's interesting thinking back on that.
Cyn, do you think that it's possible these things read our thoughts or know what we're going to do in advance?
I do. And a lot of it. Did I ever get to tell you about the email?
I don't believe so.
I don't think I told you about the email. This freaked me out more than I've ever been freaked out before. And it was in an email. So what had happened, the guy that does my covers and art is a psychic. And every once in a while, we're lucky enough to have him in town to go with us on a hunt. And he actually went to one with us just over the line in Alabama. And it was my team and Mark. And so we got through with the investigation, and her best friend, or one of her best friends, found out about it and contacted me and said, oh, please tell me what you see in this video. Sent me a clip. And I saw nothing. And I wrote her back and I said, there's nothing paranormal that I can see in your video, and you don't have any sound with it, so I don't hear anything. And like within the next 30 minutes or so, she sent me back 5 clips, one in her kitchen, one living room, one bathroom, one bedroom, and one in her car. And they were like 2 to 3 minutes long each. I had to throw one of them out because it was sitting right next to a radio, and she had the radio playing. So all I heard was that. But the other ones, I got some things out of, and it was just things like, nobody believes you. We're here. You can't get rid of us. We're going to hurt you. We're following you, just that kind of thing, kind of weird. And I sent what I got back to her in an email. It wasn't long before she sent back, my brother wants to talk to you. He's a cop. Okay, wait, what have I done?
Fingerprint time.
Yeah,
there are previous emails. I didn't do nothing.
So I said, what do you mean he wants to talk to me? She said, because you believe me. And I said, what is going on? What is happening here? So
what are you dragging me into?
Yeah, what is happening? So she said, I'm having people, I'm being stalked by whoever this is. Well, yeah, she was being stalked by intelligent spirits.
Yes.
And so, but she was seeing.
Gonna help you with that, honey.
No, but she was actually seeing these things, and she would write. She said, "I see them everywhere. I can look out my bedroom window, and they're on the roof of the neighbor's house, cloaked figures. I'll go to a movie, and one stands up a few rows in front of me and walks past me and looks at me." And she said, "They're everywhere, and I'm being followed, and I don't know what to do. My brother and the police won't believe me." And so her brother calls and the first thing he said was, "I don't believe in any of this." And I said, "You don't have to." And he said, "Well, what are you telling me?" I said, "She is being stalked by some intelligent spirits." "Well, I don't believe it." And I said, "I don't care." I'm telling you what I heard, and what kind of question do you have for me? And he said, I can't get over that you actually found something. You're the only person that has ever had some kind of proof, which even though this is weird proof to me, it's some kind of proof that she's not imagining all this. He said, I can't tell you how many reports she has made about stalking, about being harassed. He says, it was so much that nobody was believing him. They were like, "Oh, your sister's calling again," this kind of thing. And it was horrible. And I said, well, she is actually being stalked and she's being terrorized and she needs help. You need to get rid of
into the village crazy lady.
That's what they were turning her into as. So he asked if we could come down. It was too far. And I told him I could get him in touch with a team that could help him, that the whole place needed to be blessed. She needed to be blessed and protected and shown how to protect herself and get rid of all that stuff. And within that time, while I was talking to her brother, she sent me 2 more clips. By the time I got off the phone, I was exhausted. I was like, I cannot do 2 more clips from you, child. So I closed the computer and thought, I'll do it tomorrow night. Well, about, 30 minutes to an hour later, my husband and I got into some stupid little spat. It didn't last long, but it was just, and it was over. And then the next night, I go to open these clips. I opened the first one and it said, they're never going to believe you. You can't get rid of us. And a couple more sentences. And then I got to the second one. It was to me.
Oh.
And it said, Cindy, come down here with us. We can, and they verbatim talked about the fight my husband and I had the night before. And I was,
wow.
I closed my computer and went and got a drink.
That's about the only thing you can do at that point. Yeah.
Oh my
gosh. What the F just happened here? Yeah. And
I that email before that fight happened.
Yes. She sent it the night before, which to me just went, what, how did, can they jump ahead in time? What the heck is going on? So I called Mark and I told him, I said, I need to talk to you. Something happened to me and I don't know what it is. And I'm really freaked out. And so he called and I told him what it was. And he said, okay, calm down. He said, did you do any kind of cleansing, any kind of protection before you opened the email? No. Did you do any kind of protection before you open the audio? No. He said, well, you should. And I said, I never do. He said, well, you probably will from now on since this happened. And I said, but how did it happen? What happened? He said, okay, it's just a parlor trick that spirits can play. They didn't actually read your mind. They didn't get into your mind. They just wanted you to think they were in your head. But if you don't do any kind of protection, any kind of salt, any kind of prayer, anything, white light, whatever, they can read your aura for, I think he said there's like 48 hours of information in your aura that they can pick up on and use against you to make you think they know exactly what's going on.
But so it could be 48 hours in the past or 48 hours in the future.
That's something you're thinking about doing. Things like that.
Wow.
But I
like that.
I didn't. Since then, I have found too that even if I have a clear sentence one way, if I've got a couple of extra syllables in it, kind of like they're stuttering a little bit on a word, if I flip it around, there's a complete reverse sentence, and it's usually a little bit more ominous. And it's almost like that the reverse side is the spirits talking amongst themselves about us, and the first one that you get is what they want you to hear. So if they can talk forwards and backwards at the same time, what else can they do?
Wow. Well, we don't have but a few more minutes, but I was going to ask you an opinion on one thing. I've had it happen twice in the past 6 months. Out of nowhere, I will catch a single drop of water fall and it'll land on my arm or somewhere. And I was sitting at this desk, actually, and a single drop of water fell, hit my arm, ice cold to the bone. There's no water above me. It's a complete new roof. It's an attic above me. There's no leaks. Scientifically, I cannot figure out why. I've got pictures of the droplet of water. What's your thoughts? Somebody told me it's an angel crying for you. I thought, well, there's probably lots of reason for him to cry for me, but I don't know that about that. But
I don't know.
I don't know either. And I was like,
I mean, I can understand where a cold spot and a warm spot can cause moisture or something, if it clashes. But just like a drop of water, I don't know.
And you'll catch it out of the corner of your eye. I had one fall on my right arm, one on my left arm. And you just catch it out of the corner of your eye. I mean, I thought it was like a spider or, a bug or something, because there shouldn't be no water in here.
What you should notice next time it happens, what you're actually working on or who you're thinking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could be.
It could be some kind of sign from someone if you're actually thinking about a lost loved one or, things like that. It could actually be a sign that they're around you. Otherwise, whatever you're working on, it could be something related to that.
Yeah, I asked my mom this last time I was up in Knoxville last week. Just out of the clear of the blue, I was doing something, and I asked her if that had ever happened to her, and she said, yeah. But she never would elaborate. I was like, okay, tell me more. And she's just like, that was it.
Ask her again.
Well, the problem is she's a very spiritual person. Everything is either an angel or a demon with her.
Yeah.
There's no in between. There's no gray area. And I'm not convinced that there's not a gray area. So
I think there's a gray area in everything.
Absolutely. Well, Cyn, before we let you go, because I know we only wanted to keep you an hour, tell everybody where they can find your stuff, where they can find you, and if you got anything cool coming up.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook and all social media, Cyn Shrader Hill author. You can find Elk Valley Paranormal also on Facebook. And if you actually have the third book, they're speaking, Are You Listening? You can go to elkvalleyparanormal.com and listen to all of the EVPs in that book. There's over 100. My books are on Amazon, self-published. If you have Kindle and you subscribe to Kindle Unlimited, they're free. Free, I tell you, free.
Everybody likes free.
Right.
So, well, I was just going to say, tell Bobby that we didn't do anything too mean to you. So.
No, you weren't. You weren't mean at all.
We want you to come back. No, and I don't know where Bobby is tonight, but sometimes he pops in on our show. So maybe next time I'll have to be on. So
yeah. It was fun. I thank you for having me. I enjoyed all of you.
Thank you for coming back.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Well, Cyn, have a wonderful evening, and I will message you here soon, and we'll maybe set up another time.
Twist my arm.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Set up our girls' trip.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Actually, Cheyenne will probably be the one to message you. So she keeps me going. So
that sounds good.
Have a wonderful night, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye. That was great. Let me see here. Let me find a button to push so that the producer has a legitimate spot to mark this for the 1 hour mark. And in our next guest.
Let's get ready to rumble!
I'm Miranda Maverick, and when I'm in fight camp, I never listen to the Sportcat podcast.
And just like that, we're back. Welcome, everybody, to hour 2. We have a second great guest lined up, as if we could top the first, but we have a return visitor, another return visitor, Miss Glenda Benevides. How are you?
Hey!
Did you miss us?
I missed you since last week.
I know, it's been so long.
Well, we had so much to talk about, and you are such a talented individual. And I know you were carbon copied on the email between me and your publicist, but I was like, no, I'm keeping her.
So she is not free. I'm free to wander.
So there you go.
I wore my witch shirt though for you guys today.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
You got some witchy stories for us?
I wish. I know I should have come prepared for some. I think I gave it all up the last time.
Nah. You got more.
We've got to keep talking more. We've got to dredge up more memories for you.
I know, right? I was coming to the last show going, I'm like, I've only got one thing. And then all of a sudden, all these things were coming up, UFOs and all these things. I was like, oh my God, I'm crazy.
Like, oh shoot, this was a bad idea.
I just loved hanging out with you guys.
We have that effect. Well, Amanda is new. I don't think she was here last time. So,
well, hi, Amanda.
Hi.
Where are you from?
Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of horror films from Virginia.
Mm-hmm. We watch a lot of horror films. We have a whole closet of over 1,000 horror movies in there.
Lord. Wow.
What's your favorite one, Amanda?
Oh gosh. Newer, I would have to go with the Conjuring universe. Older, probably Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nice.
I love Freddy.
I knew it.
Love it.
Because I'm like, because that's exactly mine too. And I'm like, okay, so she really likes The Conjuring too. She's really gonna like Freddy. Come on.
Oh yeah. We got this.
Yep. Glenda, you'll have to come with us on our girls trip. We're going
Oh,
to
yeah.
an old TB ward.
Oh my God. Oh my
Sounds
God.
like a
Oh my
date.
God.
Waverly Hills.
Where is that?
It's in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, okay. You know, I think I'm gonna come out. I think I'm gonna come out like around like into September, into October, where it's got that cool, nice
Bring your
time of the
stuff.
year.
We're checking in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I love it. I love it. It sounds like a hoot.
Oh, yeah.
We needed a little mental health getaway.
Ba-dum-bum. So what do you guys do? What do you guys do? Do you do this like every year? Or?
No,
Oh, no.
no.
Yeah.
We made
We
it
just
up on
thought
the
it
spot
up.
like a half hour ago.
Okay, I love it. I love it.
You can be in the group at first.
Okay, I love it. I love it.
How far away is it from you, Amanda? You said like an hour.
About an hour,
So
hour and a half,
it's
maybe.
it's about an hour away from you, which it would probably be about 2.5 to 3 from me. And I think it was probably about an hour away from Cyn too.
Yeah, about that, I think. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll drive up from Atlanta, and then while y'all are doing that, I'll just go check out a movie or something, because I'm not interested in the ghost thing. So sorry.
You can drive our limo around.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
Can be our backup plan. We're gonna start screaming, Glenn, Glenn. Glenn's like, that's okay. I'm not going in.
Here.
Just open the door when I come running out screaming.
Exactly. You know, it's funny because I caught the tail end of that conversation, you know, and Glenn, you were talking about I think you were talking about some cotton cold and then mist or something.
It was a cold drop of water that fell from nowhere and landed upon me.
Oh, see, I think if you come with us, we'll probably have some experiences.
It's funny you say that.
I feel like it would be there's a security guard escorting all of us out, and he's got to open the door to shuffle us all in.
Yeah, there's a period of time where I was base camp martyr when we go out in the woods looking for Bigfoot. And because I'd injured myself at the fire department, so I couldn't go out hiking with everybody else. And the activity started happening. There was more activity at base camp than there was out in the woods, and everybody's like, "What the hell?"
See, Glenn,
so,
I swear to God, you're like the magnet for that, probably. So,
and that's what somebody told me. They said, "It's you. It's you. You've got the light on." And I'm like, "Turn it off. I don't want it."
Well, then maybe
we can keep this thing.
Maybe we just need to take you out on the Appalachian Trail then, and then maybe we'll find Sassy Squatch.
Oh my God! Hopefully, we come back. And they'll find our shoes neatly piled with their clothes folded. No.
Well, no, see,
my mother-in-law said, "Let me drive, and I'll get us to Louisville in 30 minutes."
Now, see, if we go out and we find Sassy Squatch, all of us would come back, but Glenn wouldn't.
Right?
You know, like, yeah.
It's keeping him.
Y'all have a story to tell at least.
Well,
she'd seen the one that got away.
we did see it dragging him away, but it didn't seem entirely fair that we try to take him away from Sasquatch. So
we wanted him to enjoy the adventure
experience.
You finally saw them. Why not?
We'll let it be around September, October, November, and we'll just say that it was our Thanksgiving treat. To Sassy Squatch.
I was thinking you were thinking of the rut or something. Great.
Come on out here, Glenn. You can sleep in the woods.
You can have him. It's fine. Just send him back at some point.
No, we need to go out there where you are, Glenda. You've got the Bigfoot out there in your area.
Oh, yeah. Probably about 4 hours away, probably. Yeah. I'm up in Northern California, so in the Bay Area.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's about 3 or 4 hours up to Shasta, and yeah. I've never explored that at all, so yeah, that would be.
I imagine there are probably the similar horror stories that come out of there that come out of the Appalachian Trail.
Probably, yeah. I love the missing 411 stories. Are you guys familiar with that? Yeah.
That is precisely why I will
Yeah.
never go out on the Appalachian Trail.
I know. I said the same thing. I'm like, who is hiking?
There's a guy that I watch on YouTube, and I'll just let him play, and he did so many different episodes specifically on missing 411.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, he has convinced me that I will never hike.
That's right.
And we went out to eat with one of my sister-in-laws, and she's like, oh yeah, Hunter and his girlfriend are out in the tail end of the Appalachian Trail. And I was like,
my God.
dear God, tell me you know where he is. She's like, he's got a gun. I was like, that's not gonna save him from everything.
Exactly. Oh my God.
All of those stories start out with the person in the back is walking. They can see the person in front of them. Like turn to look, and they look back, and that person's gone.
And they're gone.
And they might be found 20, 30 miles in the opposite direction.
And naked or no shoes, you know what I mean? Things like that. You're like,
hallucinating,
what?
Who knows?
Right?
David, the guy who writes those books, he is great. I don't know if I've had him on the show or if I've been on a show with him, but I've talked to him a little bit, and I've been to a couple of his speeches, and wow. Yeah, he's incredible. He's an ex-cop.
That's right.
He's got a lot of
what's his last name?
Politis.
Yep.
Politis, yeah.
It's something weird, and it's always right on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. And he is an investigator, right? An investigative police officer. Is that correct?
Yeah.
He was, yeah. I love that because, he methodically thinks through things. You know what I mean? He's not just like, oh, I'm gonna happen. It's like, no, he goes out, he tests, he really looks for evidence that, like to debunk it, and then he keeps coming up against I have no idea.
Well, the thing that really gets me is the Freedom of Information Act. The government won't answer them. He's had hundreds of them out for years.
Yeah.
And you think it's the park. It's the national park. Why?
Yeah.
They would. I can see if you were asking the FBI, CIA, Secret Service, something like that. But you're asking park rangers. I mean, literally, and so it makes you.
To me, they serve very much as, here's informative of what this happened, but there should be a warning on the back.
Right. Yeah, and then
Appalachian Trail equals no.
I know and then we have Yosemite, so I'm like at 3 hours from Yosemite, 4 hours from Shasta, so it's all just like, oh, I don't know if I'd want to go out there.
You just got to worry about the lava heating up again.
Right.
It's getting back up there. Apparently,
I just found out they have out past Yosemite, like out in the forest or whatever, there are places and trails that you can't, there's no trails. Like you can't get to it. You just have to, and so sometimes when they're fighting fires, I just found out they have guys that, no kidding, parachute in, to take care of the fire. You're like, and these guys are all like, 30-year-old daredevils. You're just like, oh my God, you did what? I didn't know they had firefighters like that.
Oh God, I'm burning.
Well, one of my teammates on the paranormal team, he spent his entire career as a search and rescue officer for.
Wow.
There's a police department that like covers the largest part of the state. I don't know if it's, LA or whatever it is, but him and his dog, he was a search and rescue specialist. They would drop him in with his dog to go look for people.
Wow.
Because they couldn't walk there, like you said.
Yeah.
And he had some great Bigfoot stories. He's like, let me tell you, if you don't think these things are real, just start thinking about dropping off of the top of a mountain where it's just you and your dog. And the dog's like, no, not coming out of the tent.
No kidding. Wow. Yeah. What were some of the, like, what did he have, like a face-to-face with something, or?
He had him break trees in front of him and throw things at him. Yeah, he's had, and well, like we were talking with Cyn earlier, He's had some where he woke up and underneath of his cot, and he was sleeping pretty much on the ground. They had put sticks while he was asleep
Oh.
under where he was sleeping. He has pictures of it. He's
They
like,
were preparing him for dinner.
Oh my God! Don't say that. Oh my-
He just didn't look far enough that there was really a hole under that as well.
and then he took he had a game camera that it was back the old kind that was the 35 millimeter,
Wow.
and you could see a picture of something moving in front of it until it ran out of film.
Wow.
And just like he's like, so what was it?
Wow.
I don't know. He said, when something screams big and loud and you're out there by yourself,
Yeah.
Nope.
you're on your own.
Wow. That's
You know what
freaky.
You know what I would love to see more of, despite how terrifying it would be? Because I feel like any kind of like Asian horror stories are specifically terrible. But more I guess specifically horrifying than terrible. But go out to that forest that they have over in Japan.
Oh, right.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah. What did they call that? Isn't that
It's
like a
like-
suicide forest or
it's like
something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a name, and they made a movie off that. So
Right.
Mhm.
I haven't watched the
never
movie.
gonna watch that until after I've already went out there and done my
Right.
taken my like 60 paces inside the forest and then just okay, I've seen enough.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure I'll say this right, but it's Aokigahara
Okay.
Forest.
Well,
Wow.
I've traveled across the country a little bit, and I've found that there's bridges and forests and all kinds of places that are like that. When my
Wow.
son moved to Vermont, there was this one covered bridge where they said that, something haunts it. Of course, I had to go check it out,
Mhm.
but it's it's everywhere. It's dotted across our country.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
stuff's
two,
everywhere.
Alaska, how much of
Mhm.
Alaska is untouched?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And on
Yeah.
that same YouTube channel that I watch, he's talked about a lot of some crazy stuff that happened out in Alaska, but so much of that is like untouched and you can't go in there, and don't think I'd
Yeah,
want
see,
to, but
that's the other thing about our national forests, and I've noticed this, and it's not just because of wildfires. There'll be certain areas that, for no apparent reason, they'll close off to the public. It's our land. Why can't we?
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
get it. I get it if they don't want you four-wheeling up in there. Okay, I get it. Yeah. But we're hiking. Why
Yeah.
can't we? And
Well, until we become responsible human beings, no,
it's the
You're
littering.
you're not allowed.
It's the littering.
Smokey warned me about you. So
They've got to cut off more places for kids to run out in the woods and smoke their joints and litter, and
yeah,
we
Wendell,
can't be
welcome.
trusted. There's
Yeah,
Wendell.
yeah. It's like, why is that? Why is, for no apparent reason they'll do that? And they'll say, oh well, it's just that time of year. Time of year for what?
Well,
Is something passing through? What is it?
They've got a deal. They've got to deal with the
The
Bigfoot.
wild-
I was gonna say, is it
The
Bigfoot
wild
mating season?
mushrooms.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what I'm thinking. They've made a treaty, and the treaty says between this time and this time, you don't come in here.
Maybe. We'll never know.
Yeah,
I've
Where the
still gotta
UFO
watch-
landed.
Yeah,
right.
there was one, and I had seen it on a number of different places where it was almost something like that, but there was a truck driver that was supposed to be picking up a load. It was more out west, and the pickup kept getting delayed, so he was going to go ahead and drive home, but then after so many days his boss never heard from him, so called his wife,
Hmm.
and they went out on a search for him. Well, then eventually, somewhere way out of the way up north, there was a family visiting a state park, and this semi kept driving crazy up and down the trail there, and my first thought was, okay, where is there a spot big enough for this semi to turn around? And but if he also doesn't have the whole load on, then I guess it would be easier. But then they end up, I think it was a park ranger somewhere farther down along, just in the middle of open land with real tall grass, sees the truck just sitting out there, which there was no clear explanation on. It almost looked like they just picked him up, put him in this spot of land, and the the park ranger called the cops, and a cop came out, and they saw the guy sitting in the driver's seat, and as the cop headed up to him, gave him the craziest look. He got out of the truck, but gave him the craziest look and made the most ungodly sound. And I think the dude died right after that. But there was no there was no explanation on as to why he took the way he took to go more up north, out of the way of home, when I guess the dude hadn't been home in like months. So there was a lot of conversation back and forth between him and his wife on them both being excited that he was going to come home. And there was only so long that they were allowed to sit at any particular place to wait for a load to be picked up, because then it's losing the company money. And then just for however many days, nobody to have heard from him, for him to just wind up in the weirdest spot possible.
Yeah.
Which they think he ended up driving out there and got stuck, but nobody mentions seeing any tire tracks, nothing as to how he would have just ended up in the middle of like all this tall grass, pretty much.
Weird. And then he died after that? And then he died?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He got out and like gave the cop the most demented look, and I believe he kept telling him the same thing over and over again, but I can't remember what it was. And then just did the most weird, like, gurgly growl scream that they said it sounded like something that couldn't have come from a human, and then dude's dead.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we've seen unexplained tracks in the area where we investigate that were like vehicle tracks. They started from nowhere and went nowhere. And there was no way a vehicle could have seen that.
There's a button on a rock. Bigfoot just clicks the button. That's where he puts his side by side.
Like we were talking earlier, all these things could be connected. So just makes you wonder if, like, when we check out of this life and go to the next one, will these questions be answered, or will there just be a new set of questions?
Probably both, actually.
That's a good question.
I almost wonder if at that point it just doesn't matter, because we're that, I guess, depending that tie is severed, that at that point we just don't care because it becomes irrelevant. We're just
we take the information with us, or whatever the experience was, and it put it back into the whole pot.
Matrix.
And whatever, however we spend the afterlife, we're just at that point, we're like, doesn't matter. We're just I like to think that heaven has a large buffet, better than Golden Corral, and so Dead Cheyenne is just like, I'm just worried about
cholesterol in that line, so you know better.
I'm dead. It doesn't matter anymore.
It's gonna be herbs and water. So
I'm just gonna be like, look, best buffet ever. It's got Chinese, it's got Mexican, it's got everything.
It's got everything.
Oh, and I can get the biggest cup of coffee I've ever had. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, at that point, I don't care. I'm living my best life.
What do you think, Glenn? Do you think once we figure out the secrets to some of these things, we'll have the key to the next step? Or
Yeah, that's that is the wonderment. I don't know. I think that when we cross over, I think we have we get to take our memories and our experiences and kind of put it into the big pile to help raise consciousness overall, like because everybody's having experiences and that kind of thing, whether good or bad, it doesn't really matter. It's just an experience, right? And then
Come through the gates and you empty your bucket into the
here you
community
go.
trash
This
bin.
is what I did, and then I think there's something really interesting that I came across my plate, so to speak, about having everything in different vibrations, different levels. So things are all happening simultaneously, but they're in different, kind of like ghosts or whatever, or people that have passed. They're still there. They're just not on our plane of existence, on our 3D world. That's kind of like how I've been seeing it. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
I wonder if they almost have like an upside down, like a Stranger Things upside
right,
down,
an upside down thing.
They're still here, but on a different
plane. Yeah, that's kind of like what I'm thinking.
And I feel like, though, if we were to actually gain all that knowledge, it would be like the end of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. When Kate Blanchett says she wants to know all the information and her eyes burst into flames and she just...
Totally.
It's like, no, you don't want to know. You don't want to know.
Well, it's kind of like, if you do believe in past lives, then if you were to have access to that, like it was just you were just conscious of that all the time, you would go nuts. You probably would be speaking to a lot of, you wouldn't have the experience now that you're creating or the challenges that you're trying to get through. It's like, so
or even in the afterlife, if there are things going forward,
right
now. Maybe in the afterlife, we are on a different level of consciousness that it's not that overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just like, oh, okay, I know everything now. Yeah, cool.
Oh, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's the game I was playing. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. What did I learn from that?
I've had the most unfortunate experience as a paramedic to be present with so many of them. So many people have died. And one thing I can say I noticed is they all got right before they died better, remarkably better, to the point where I was even like, huh?
Oh, snap out of it, you're fine.
And then when they start calling they either call for mama or Jesus. There's no in between. If you're 100 years old, you're calling for your mama. And I was like, that's, is it just a, what do you call it? A primitive thing in our brain? For the maternal connection, or
you do it like subconsciously.
Yeah. Well, I had one guy reaching towards the top of the ambulance, the light up there at the top.
Wow.
No, that's not the light. Stay down here. Stay down here.
Wow.
We just had a family member pass away the other day, and she took someone's hand and walked over, and she said, "Let's go over here by the light." And so we knew it was almost time.
Oh, that was awesome. My mom passed away. I was present with her, and I thought that was really interesting what you said, because it was like she was really ill. She went down really quick, went to the hospital, was in the hospital, and then all of a sudden, one day, she was totally present, totally everything. She got up, went to the bathroom, and my dad had walked in and said, "Oh my God, she's getting well." And we're all like, "What's going?" Like, wow, there's all that hope, And then this was kind of interesting. He said out loud to her, it's like, "Oh, you can come home." And I watched her go, ew. Like she did not this was her opportunity to leave. She did not want to go back to the life that she'd been living with, because she couldn't figure out a way out, so to speak, right? And I thought, wow, that's really powerful. And I watched her, and she went "Meow," like that. And I started holding her hand, and I said, Mom, after a little bit, and I said, what are you thinking about? She said, I'm thinking about change. And I was like, wow, okay, got it. And then, that night full moon, she just went, Dad said she woke up, took her last breath. She was gone. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
that was like she was ready, and the thought of going back to anything but, she was like,
Like she had already seen the other side.
Yeah.
She was ready for it.
Yeah.
It's
Amanda.
Both heartbreaking and beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had in my career 3 patients I brought back.
Wow.
Yeah, I beat the Grim Reaper, and one of them later told me, he goes,
I hate you.
Like,
No.
I hate you. What are you doing? You broke my chest. I had to go.
Wow. No, seriously. What did she say?
Well, the very first guy that had a heart attack and died in front of me, at the time, I'll pre-qualify this. This was the common medical treatment when you can't cardiovert them by electricity. You punch them in the chest because it sends an electrical shock through their body.
Okay.
So this guy just totally went out in front of me, and I'm a brand new paramedic, and I punched the crap out of him in the chest. Sits up, looks at me, goes, "Why'd you do that?" And I'm like, "I don't know." So he's dead again. I'm like, "Stop that!"
Stop that!
I'm trying here.
So, but he survived. He survived. But
wow,
why'd you punch me? And I was like crying. I don't know.
To get you to live, gosh dang it.
Did he share anything? Did he have any afterlife stuff? Did he say anything to you?
He said that it was calm and peaceful, and that they were waiting on him, but somebody just kept pulling him back, and I was like, "That's me punching you in the chest with the electricity, I guess."
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It wasn't your
ribs,
time yet.
You're gonna be fine. Walk it off, cowboy. So, but yeah, and like I said, I've had to be like, "Oh, it's I see it already. It's nice, clear, calm. I think it's time." And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. So yeah, it's sometimes, like you said, it's peaceful sometimes, and other times, for a paramedic, it's terrifying because it's not supposed to happen on your watch. But it's sometimes the patients are just like, it's okay, just like they just walk over, Wow. So. And other times it's kind of like they're fighting to go back and forth, and so.
And you only ever hear like that kind of story of it. Oh, it's not like, oh God, the heat, Jesus. I need a bath. I need a cold pack.
No, that's life.
I was gonna say, maybe he doesn't let his dead come back. I don't know, or her, whatever. Nope, mine.
I mean, I hate to put it like that, but you do never hear that side of things. Maybe they just let it be calm at the start so that you don't immediately start freaking out. And then
maybe to get you on over down there.
Like, where you got to go to. And then when you get to the door, they're like, all right, see that door down there? That one's yours.
Shaking a bag of treats. Come on. No, this way. Come on.
This way.
Shut the door. It's locked. All right.
It's our own personal hell. Yeah.
Like you said, we're living in it right now.
My dad did think this was heaven. He was a deacon and preached some, and he always talked about this being heaven where we are now.
Yeah.
Like,
I think we make it. We make it, right? We make it heaven or hell. I think it's by our perceptions and our choices. And
perspective is so much.
Right? Yeah. So Amanda, who passed? Who was and what was their experience? They said they
It was my husband's grandmother.
Oh.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And I believe it was her daughter that was in the room with her when it happened.
Yeah.
And she said, "Take my hand. Let's walk over here by the light."
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow. And then she
and
just
she
let go?
passed.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yep,
Wow.
yep,
Ah, phenomenal.
yep.
Mm.
It wasn't long after that she was gone.
Mm.
It's
And
crazy. I
with
almost
you,
died in 2017, and it was very calm. You know, I had had a miscarriage, and when they did the removal, I had to have it surgically removed. I ended up getting sepsis.
Oh.
So my husband got me to the hospital just in time for them to save me, and
Wow.
it was surprisingly calm. It was a
Wow.
very calm moment. I guess sometimes you're just ready and but if
Mm.
it's your that's it.
Yeah.
you
Um,
didn't have a paramedic punch you in the chest, I guess. So.
Thankfully, I did not.
I'm
It was funny though. My husband thought I just had the flu, and he was trying to like block me so he didn't get sick.
Oh my goodness.
And they're like, "No, she's dying." Like,
No, she's dying.
you're just
Yeah,
like, I
it's
told
all
you, you
good.
asshole.
that's a good doctor.
Yes,
That's a
yeah.
good
Well,
doctor.
by the
Got
time
here just in
while he's
time.
driving, my whole body was just locking up, because all my
Oof.
organs are shutting down. So
Oh my
I was like,
goodness.
"No, I don't think it's the flu."
I'd have to be the one to make the humor in the moment and do that and just start going.
Right? Yeah.
Take that.
But also, what do you do in that moment? What good is it to freak out?
Mhm.
You know? Like that's just I feel like that would have made it worse. At
Mm.
least have it go peacefully.
Mm.
Luckily I'm still here.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, we're glad you are. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's everybody has stories about stuff like that, and it
Mhm.
does make you wonder. And
And
what do we go to? Is there another level? Is it
well,
all
Yeah.
around us?
it
Mhm.
Yeah.
makes me think too. Like Glenn, I told you that story of where I have the tumor, and they told me that it would grow as long as I grew. So I was from like about age 5 to 6 when I understood what it was. It was never scary to me.
Mm.
And at the time, I obviously was not, and nobody bothered to tell me that at some point you stop growing.
Mhm.
And just as a kid, just, okay, well, that's how I'm going to go. That's how I was meant to go.
Wow.
I'm just at peace with
That
that.
was one thing I never got used to. Part of my job at one point in time was a flight paramedic, and we had the contract for the children's hospitals and all that.
Oh.
And that was one thing I never got used to. I'm taking home this teenager who's in her freshman year. She's talking about going back to class and seeing her friends and doing all this stuff. And I'm looking at her chart, going,
She's like, you're not going back to class.
"Yeah, that ain't gonna happen."
Wow.
But that was one of I had to get out of that because that was too much. So dealing with kids is
Yeah.
too much. So,
Did you say what was that, like a life flight thing? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I
you were
was on.
like picking up wreckages of children. Okay, great.
Well, no, I mean we would get them afterwards. We were the Learjet. We were the helicopter, and so like if you had a snowmobile accident in Colorado and they didn't have proper cure, we would take you to a place that did or closer to your home. A lot of times, believe it or not, it's insurance based. They would rather pay $10,000 to fly you out than pay the out of pocket for the the hospital in Montana when you live in Boston or something. So
Mhm.
I never understood that. There's a level 1 trauma center here that can treat you and take care of you, but we're going to spend $10,000 to get you to the one over here. It's going to do the exact same thing, but that's our healthcare system, a little screwy. So,
right.
but
I I enjoy other people's children, but I do not have my own. And I love animals. I had always wanted to be like a vet tech, or like I would love to do work with children, but the minute like a dog looks at me in the least bit sad, I'm just gonna no, no, no.
Exactly. I know.
It's it does take a different person to do it. I mean, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
You know, and I could only do it for so long. And I know people that have done it too long.
Too long?
That song and start crying.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Well, we do.
Yeah, I
We do
couldn't do
too,
it
but
either.
you know, we do it too. But
Now I would cry on
there
the
is a
spot
point where
every single
you've had
time.
enough. Yeah. Well, I've
What
been there
what did you experience? Like, what happens when people have been too long?
Well, I've been in public safety too long.
Mhm.
Well, it's called burnout, and we all develop PTSD. I mean, I have
Oh, okay.
I
Wow.
won't deny it.
I would say a lot
And
of depression too.
there's a lot of depression, a lot of alcoholism, a lot of extramarital affairs, a
Wow.
lot of bad things, and
Mm.
so you know, well, if you look at here in Georgia here recently, there was a couple. It was a girlfriend and boyfriend. He was married. They worked at the same department, had been there for a while. They took their car and disappeared, and they found them on the side of a road in Tennessee.
They
Mhm.
found him.
Yeah, murder suicide. Yeah,
No.
Oh
yeah.
my
So
goodness.
there's a time to get out. Because even no matter what your trade is, you can't do it but so long. Our body won't let us. You know, even if you're just a secretary, I mean, you're going to sit in one
Yeah.
spot for too long. But mentally, there's some jobs that get to you quicker than others, and that make you older.
Yeah.
When I went to work in Atlanta, they told me a 10-year career is like 30, and I came from East Tennessee, and I was like, no way. 10 years, I was done. I was ready to get out. I was
Wow.
like,
Wow.
you take 24 hours a shift, and you're running 24 different calls times 10 years. That's a lot of patient contact. So
Yeah. Wow.
but
No wonder you probably have. That's why you have spirits following you.
Well, he
You're all
has saved a
crazy.
lot of people, so they could be thankful spirits.
Yeah, they could be just visiting, saying thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
Please have that pizza.
There was a paramedic I worked with. They finally had to move him to training because they thought he was nuts. But he was an ex-ranger. He was very well connected, and he was involved in an ambulance accident and had a severe traumatic brain injury. From that moment on, he could see dead people.
Wow.
And I ran calls with him. He's like, there's nothing we can do here. As we're pulling up, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
We're not there yet.
Who are you, Haley Joel Osment?
They just went down the street, and I'm like, okay, this dude's nuts. But there was a pattern of this, and they finally had to move him to training because he was losing his mind. He's like, I can't do this anymore.
Wow.
So basically, they took his story and turned it into a female form of Ghost Whisper.
Right.
Wow. Sure. I mean,
wow. That's fascinating. Like, so fast. And so did you find that, like, when you showed up, he was correct?
Yeah. And we all started talking amongst ourselves. We were like, what's wrong with this guy here? Because you want to deny the paranormal at first. You want to scientifically prove it, but then after so many people, so many shifts, he was moved around so many parts of the county, it was consistent. They were like, we're just gonna put him in training.
Like, we're just gonna put him over here.
I hate to look at it that way, but could they not have used that to their advantage
Right?
a little bit?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
What are you gonna do? Go and service down the street? That'll get you a nice lawsuit. So you can't do that.
Maybe he hung his shingle.
They keep him employed, and he takes care of everything except for when it's really bad. Then they bring him in to be like, all right, what do you see before we even say anything? And he's like, right there, right there, right there, right there.
You may be able to find out who killed someone too.
Right.
It's funny you say that.
Hey,
He was
hey,
ex-military,
pure,
and he did.
pure,
But he did.
pure
did.
Greenbrier ghost incident.
Yeah, he was ex-military, and his unit still got together and had reunions and stuff. And one of them, they said, committed suicide, and everybody in the unit was like, "No, he didn't commit suicide." And so this person went over there several times, did a lot of investigating. They didn't just do that type of thing, but they figured out what happened. So yeah.
Wow.
I don't know that the government ever believed it, but then again, the government knows about more of this stuff than we do. So
Yeah.
How many years ago was this?
10 maybe. I
was gonna say, geez, make it 20 years ago, and they totally would have made a movie or a show about him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
They still can. They still can.
Well,
Wow.
like we
I'd watch
were talking to
Law and Order meets Ghost Whisperer.
Here you go.
Yeah.
We were talking to Cyn earlier. When we run these calls, or not just that, but we see these people that say they see things, they hear things, and so many people are so quick to put a label on them that they're crazy.
Right.
How do we really know they're not? I mean, I know the not right word isn't mentally retarded anymore, but how do we know that someone that is different from us doesn't? That's one thing that always made me wonder.
That's such a great question, because I think like that too. It's like, well, maybe they're just seeing other things, or they're seeing a different vibration, or a different realm, or you know what I'm saying, a different level. Maybe they're seeing something else that we can't perceive through our eyes and our prejudices, and you know what I'm saying. It does make you wonder. It's like,
And I think we also get blocked by what is considered the norm, because there are so many people that have those different type of disabilities.
Yeah,
they're so smart.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they are not labeled on the same level as everybody else. But some of them are literal geniuses. So it's just, they fall behind in some areas that would be the norm for us. But on others, they're like, we ain't catching up to that.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, it makes you, things like that make you wonder. I mean, that's why I like doing the show. We get different perspectives and different views.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody even knows the answer. I don't even know if the government knows the answer. So
they probably think they do, and they have it written down somewhere very highly secret.
Well, no, what's probably the problem with that is they probably think they do, and they think they have it under control, and they really don't.
Why do you think we have? Now, I'm gonna put it out there that why do you think we have SpaceX? They think they know the answer now.
Well, he thinks he knows the answer.
SpaceX was a thing before SpaceX was a thing. I think there was that department. They just didn't call it that. So.
Oh, yeah.
Just like they're going to start a new branch that's a cyber branch. I read about that.
Oh.
And I was like, I mean, we don't have that already? And I guess we do, but it's kind of in all...
Yeah,
it's kind of in all branches, and they're now saying that they're going to start a new, what would that be, a fifth branch, I guess, or sixth, whatever it is. I can't count. I can't do math.
Well, and what they say is that they've already been doing all these things. They just allow us to know when they're ready to let us know. Yeah, right. I mean, come on, there was computers in the 50s, 40s and 50s. We didn't know about that. So, and I knew people in the 70s and 80s that were working on computers. So, there's so much they just let you know at a certain time,
Yeah, one of my friends was
probably afraid our brains would explode.
Probably.
Yeah. One of my friends was a military police officer during Desert Storm, and one of his jobs was prisoner transport because there was a large POW. And he came back and described, he said, man, we had this little computer. It was the size of, a piece of paper. It wasn't very thick, and we could punch all the information in. He was talking about an iPad,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and iPads were a thing back then. So,
I know. Yeah, when I was with my band and we were touring and we were on a DoD tour, and I was in a base in Korea, and I ended up meeting one of the guys. You know, they come out to hear the band. They become
So
hi. You know,
you didn't go through the door, did you?
I did. No.
Yeah.
No, but
Only person to live to tell the tale.
that's correct. No, but he was showing me around, and he goes, "Well, that's kind of top secret over there." And I went, "Really?" And he goes, "Come on, I'll show you."
Like, oh, come on,
Come
you
on.
can show me.
I'm someone that wants to know these things. So he walks us over, and we're in this big hangar, and I'm standing there, and he goes, "You see that truck right there?" And I'll tell you what year this is. After, see that truck right there? He says, "We have technology in that truck that can shoot a beam and knock something out, like kill it, disintegrate it, break it down, right?" And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah." And this was in 1988.
Wow.
1988. So can you imagine what they've got? I mean, you know, if they're letting us see those little robot dogs and stuff like that, you know, they got some serious shit.
Hate those. Lord, they've already got an underground robot army. We just don't know about it yet.
Right. Yet.
A friend of mine was retired from a 3-letter agency, and he got to talk about the Star Wars program. Back during the Cold War. He goes, if you pay attention and go back and look historically, we weren't aiming at each other. We were aiming up, and the government was telling us they were doing it, but we weren't listening.
Right.
I was like, huh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Plain sight.
Yeah, hidden in plain sight. And well, I mean, even they say that Hollywood is run by certain branches that put stuff out. You know,
yeah, they let us know in advance, so you can almost see. Okay, well, that's the future. Oh shit!
Well,
you know,
for my private,
Exactly.
my private FBA officer that likes to listen to whatever I do all day, tell them to quit remaking movies.
You're right.
That's
Come
awesome.
up with new stuff.
New, please.
We don't need Gladiator 2. We need something better.
What's up? Or they take really fun romantic fantasy movies and then they trash it. Oh God, it's like horrible dialogue, bad script. Like, why? You just
don't need movie 5 and 6 of something that could have ended on movie 2.
Unless it's Scream. We can take all the Scream movies. I love those.
It should have ended well before Jason X.
Yes, I will agree with that one.
Amanda, you're going to have to watch Men.
Men.
Men. MEN.
Okay.
Yeah. I watched it last night. I'm trying to remember it now, but I watch horror films every night. I'm like, oh my God, what did I watch?
Yes, I know.
I just remember the title. And it was good.
I'm gonna write that down.
There's one I'll have to ask Travis about what the name of it was, but it was very similar to VHS. But without like the anthology stories, but it was one of the best found footage movies that I think has been put out there, except for towards the end when the CGI comes in, but you can kind of overlook that. But it is all based in, I believe was like an insane asylum or like an old hospital. And when Cyn was talking about all that, I was like, oh, I've got to remember the name of that movie because it was such a good movie. And what do they do? First one's great. They make a second one.
Oh, no.
Which I refuse to watch.
I think they made the money off of it and they think we can do it again.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they start cutting corners and stuff. It's like, why are you doing that?
Right.
You know, really develop it.
I mean, it's blasphemous in our household, but as much as I love the other 2 Hobbit movies, we didn't need it.
We didn't need it. Yeah.
But
Well,
y'all were-
Spider-Man fan here. All right, we knew how he died from the comic book. She had to tell us in the movie 3 times.
Right.
But I went
Yes.
every time. Yeah. Glenda, we're going to hold you personally responsible for this because you're out there. So you've got to stop this. For me.
Yeah, right. Okay, thanks. If you guys come out, we'll go together.
We're gonna get you. We're gonna go undercover boss style. We'll get you a full makeover. You'll have to get some fake facial hair.
Yeah, I don't think I could make the red carpet. So yeah, they'd be like, "Oh no, that guy this way." We see you coming.
No, you just come up to the carpet acting like you're sweeping and just, oh no, I'm here.
I'd
And we'll head north for a squatch hunt.
It'd be good marketing.
Just backstage.
And then just go buy my album.
The Oscars. Y'all got any Bigfoots out here?
Yeah,
Hey,
right.
random.
That'll be me. Hey, y'all.
Hey,
We
y'all.
gonna go hunt us a Bigfoot.
They did let you in. Me, they'd shoot. So.
I love it.
Y'all got any Coke anywhere?
I need some
I need a
Doritos and Mountain
soda.
Dew.
Some pop. Is that what you're going to say? In
Pop.
California, a Coke might be something different.
Oh yeah.
Y'all got any of that too? You know how much that's worth back home? I know a few people.
I know a few people.
Okay, I know a lot of people.
Linda's never going to want to come back. Don't tell your
Guys,
secret,
I love
Shane.
hanging out, just talking about stuff. It's like, you have this like years of ideas and energy and working on stuff, and then you come and you meet people like you, and you're like, oh, good, I can talk about this. There's a specific format and formula to like talk about this kind of stuff with each other. It's great. It's fabulous.
I feel like it helps kind of the creative process too. You get
Totally.
different points of view, and
She's going to write a country and western song about us.
I know.
There we go.
only,
A bunch of crazy Southerners.
I love it.
But-
Well, I need to come out there and play.
But
Yeah,
it's
you'll
gonna
have
be
to come out and
the-
go to Waverly with us.
Exactly.
It's going to be the crazy Southerners who hate AI, so therefore the AI truck then leaves the man.
What the
Yeah.
hell?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you guys
What
have
do
been fun.
Yeah,
You guys are
kid.
fun.
Well, before we get you out here, what do you think about AI, Glenda? Because now they're doing it in music. I heard the Beatles. They put all the Beatles together and they have a song. And then was it a
Yeah.
Michael Jackson they redid here recently?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about all that?
I think it's a tool, and I think that I love it. I think there's things, there's ways to use AI, and I don't think it'll ever replace human beings because it's ones and zeros. It's a machine, and it's whatever we put in, it'll spit back out. So it's not going to. I'll be surprised if it is, but I don't feel threatened by it. I don't feel, I don't feel that way. I feel like we all evolve. Everything evolves. Yes, you need to keep an eye on stuff, and speak your truth and vote with your heart kind of thing. But at the same time, it's like, it's here, and can I use it? Will it make my life easier or better or more interesting? Okay. If it doesn't, don't do it. Leave it alone. Stay away from it. But I've always been one to just like, I want to embrace what's going on now, the technology now, because then I'm informed, then I know what's going down. And there's nothing worse than you talk to one of your friends and you go, did you put that in your calendar? And they pull out a paper calendar and you're like, that's why you didn't show up. See,
It's in my
young lady.
calendar.
See, young lady. You're a Luddite.
I'm staying in the past, and you can't
And you
make me
can't
change.
make me. But that's okay. I have
computers and
I have
messaging.
some too. Okay, Cheyenne. All right.
All right, so
Okay.
suck it.
But this baby tells me when to get on the call.
Shows you everything. Yes.
That's
Yes.
right. Again, it's like you got to use both, right? You got to
Yeah.
work with it,
Yeah.
whatever works for you, but don't
Yeah.
be so far behind that you can't communicate with people. They don't get you, so.
It's like I would get
No, it
asked a
makes
lot
sense.
about if we ever thought that like AI was gonna affect our jobs, and said, well, there are places where I think it could for some people. Here in West Virginia, am I worried? No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Washington, D.C.,
And
New York City, Chicago, maybe.
there are jobs people don't want to do anyway,
Yeah.
or they'll never be qualified for it because they're not educated. It's just what it is. We'll come to a place, I think, where, it'll be more like England, where there's nobody on the street. People have homes. They have council houses. Okay, it's not, stellar 25 room, whatever, but they're safe. They're in a home. They're clothed. They got water. They got food, and that's because they take care of their own. And I think that's so important. There should be no reason why people are homeless, and I think that's a reflection of what's going on in the community and the conversation that we are having and that we're not having, and people are, I just feel like there's ways to solve issues, and it's systemic, it's deeper. It's not, well, they're just lazy, they're just on the street. No, it's more complicated than that. And it's a reflection of our society, and we have to start taking care of ourselves.
I mean, is Mr. Millionaire gonna miss that extra
You said the key word there.
$250,000 that he got in bonuses that barely made the numbers in his bank account go up?
Exactly.
When that money could go towards.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, you said the key word there. Take care of yourself, then take care of others.
Yes. Fill your bucket first, and in a healthy way, not like egotistical, like I'm a narcissist. I
was gonna say, not like gluttonous filling your bucket.
No.
I've often said to myself many times, look at some of the rich people and like they got everything they could possibly want. Why do they keep trying to get more? I mean,
exactly.
Right.
I don't know. I could talk a long time on that because
I know we could all.
People are,
it's a conundrum.
Themselves.
Oh,
I mean, they're more about themselves.
Well, they have to keep making all that extra money that they don't need, because when are they going to stick their foot in their mouth and have to pay somebody over half of all that, and then they're not worth a dime?
See, if you got all that money, you could go somewhere and not be around people. That's what I would do.
Exactly.
And
buy it outright.
But are they that smart?
That's the question.
Yeah,
that's the question.
Yeah, I mean, but I had somebody tell me one time, said, money won't buy you happiness, but the lack of will buy you a whole lot of depression.
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
I was like, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
Pretty honest.
That
is. And I never thought about it that way, but they were right. And I was like, well, that's a good point.
And you're going to take a lifetime trying to figure out what that happy medium is.
Yeah. I'm doing a show in September on the 7th, actually, in Washington State. I'm doing a mental wellness festival. So I'll be playing music for that and donating stuff and everything. So very exciting. Very exciting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Before we cut you out of here, because we've kept you a little bit longer, we promise. We always do with you. I'm sorry. What you got coming up?
In 20 minutes extra this time.
Yeah. She'll slap me, so I don't like it. Well, I might like it, but that's another story. So,
for another time.
That's a different show. No,
we'll see you
Saturday night.
There's your third show, Glenn.
After hours with the paranormal guys.
Well, see, the only problem there is after 3 we get to keep you.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. I'm moving in. I'm moving out. Here I come.
I'm already in the spare bedroom, so.
But where can people find you, Glenda?
My website, everything is there, so you have fun going through all the different stuff that's on there. It's glendamusic.com. It's the easiest. My name is Glenda Benevides, but Glenda Music is so much easier to just do that and pop in.
You know, I feel like you missed a really good opportunity that you could have been Glenda the Good Witch.
I actually had a record company called Good Witch Records.
Yes. Yes.
There's so many parts to you we have yet to explore.
Exactly.
Hey, we were on the same wavelength there.
Yeah.
And I've introduced her to the program director at the radio station I'm at, so maybe I'll be sending out some of your music. So
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Let's do it. Yeah, reach out and tell me what I need to do, and we'll do it if it's good.
I don't know how that works. That's above my head. I just get to push it and say next up.
Next up.
And tonight.
But you do have to give him a little bit of backstory on some of the songs so that he can give factual things about it.
Okay, easy enough. I can do that.
Well,
I got some crazy stories.
You give factual things about the songs you play.
Yeah, I give Willie Nelson a great story on the last one. He's 91 years old. Did you know?
He's amazing.
I know, and it's his 75th album he just dropped.
Jesus.
75th. Think about that.
It's like in the Hall of Guinness World of Records.
It's gotta be. So that's all the weed he smokes. Well, I can't talk about that. There's a tour bus incident here.
He's already in spirit.
Exactly. He's what is it? He's embalmed. So.
Yeah, so it's done gone. His body just hasn't caught up yet.
Yeah.
My God, he can still sing. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard it. It's what is it? It's something about the Border Patrol. I don't remember the name of it. I had to go look it up. I didn't know it was him.
Wow.
It sounded like somebody so different, but it was still
wow. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah.
And it's a story about the border.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, who is this? I had to go look it up because I was like, that's so fascinating. And when I looked, I was like, Willie Nelson.
Yeah, his kids are phenomenal too.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, Cheyenne, too, if you're interested in that light therapy thing I was talking about, would you just reach out to me? And I don't know if I sent you anything or we connected or.
No, I was looking it up later that evening.
Okay.
I think I found the website, but I hadn't got a chance to.
Okay, no worries.
Look into it yet.
Well, yeah, if you want some support or something in that, I'm here for you, sister.
Glenda, you're gonna come back and visit us. We just won't tell Mickey.
Yeah, don't tell Mickey. Like, she's mine. What are you doing?
That's right.
It's gonna cost you.
We licked it. She's ours now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going on a tour with you ladies, Amanda and Cheyenne and Glenn, because you're going to be driving, right?
I'll be the driver.
Well, we need a designated driver. So.
I'll be the DJ too.
Screaming, Glenn, help me, God, help! It's like,
only got one bullet.
Oh no, she crossed over. Glenn will hit me in the chest.
That's right.
Just, you were supposed to hit me with not with the gun.
Oh my God!
Sad thing if Mickey is listening to this or watching this. What is she seeing these people?
Hey, we love you, Mickey.
He obviously likes us. He helps out so much. So.
He's so awesome. I love him.
He's just like they're crazy. We know.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, he is awesome. I love him. So he's sent us some great people, but you are the best. So
thank you.
Keep up with you, and we want you back.
All right, sounds great.
Baby, come back.
May not be as quick as this time, but we'll get you in a couple months. Maybe
Sounds
after you get back from your thing in September.
Yeah, that's great. Whenever you guys want, I'm here.
You can find Bigfoot while you're up there.
Yeah. Oh God, no! I'm waiting for you guys to come this direction.
No, I want some.
Amanda's coming, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I want some horrible Blair Witch Project level, and, like camera footage of it,
and then we're just all laughing,
just face right up in the camera,
coming right out of here,
like this.
Yeah, Glenn, what I can tell you is
I turn to you and you go.
It's going to be my personal bodyguard. She was a wrestler in her past life, so she's got my back. So
Awesome.
Anytime. Anytime.
Awesome.
No, we're pushing you out to the ghost. She's got us.
Oh.
We're all just.
I've already discovered it's the old fat one in the back that gets attacked. I've already been that guy. So I don't want to do that again.
Somebody kick him in the shin. We're running.
We're going. God damn
Kick
it.
his good leg.
That one bullet for somebody else's knee.
Like, turn the light on. Turn the light on.
I'm just fiddling, trying to get the gun away from you. All right, this is gonna hurt, but you're gonna save us.
I'll just be spinning in circles. I can't see a ghost to drop kick it. Where's it at?
Oh, I shot you in the foot. It was supposed to be the leg. Oh God.
Oh man. Our personal horror story.
That's what I was about to say. This is going to be our own personal horror story movie. So.
Gotta love it.
It's gonna be like me going through a haunted house where it's nothing but expletives.
Which is also like Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I want it to be like scary movie version of Blair Witch.
Oh yeah,
Just
definitely.
the insane amount of snot coming out of the nose.
Oh my god.
Oh
Oh my
You
god.
went too far with it.
That's the funniest part.
All right, you kids, I gotta go.
All right, Glenda. Thank you for everything.
you.
We
Thank
enjoyed it. We love
It's
you.
nice
And
to
We love
meet you.
Thank
please
you.
come back. All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Have a great
Bye.
night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. She's awesome.
I love
Oh,
her.
I love it.
She's awesome. I love her. I love having her on. So, because you don't know what you're going to get. So,
She's just a goof like the rest of us.
well, she's got so many stories. She's got so much talent. And
Mhm.
depending on which train track you take, and then she is very good at turning it and asking us questions too.
Mhm.
So, which is a lot of
She
fun
is.
too.
Like I was saying last week, at one point there, I was like, I kind of felt like she was interviewing us.
Yeah. She's having an intervention with you crazy kids. So.
She was like right up in the middle, and she's like, now wait a minute. So what did you see?
That's right.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, well, that was a great show. I'm gonna end this because we're gonna bore our audience to death. Please, everybody, follow, share, and subscribe. And if you're on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon, please give us a rating and I don't know, all that other stuff. And we will see you Friday night with the Grading Guardian. Well, I will see you Friday night with the Grading Guardian gang. And tomorrow I'm going to be on the radio at Thin Line Rock Station from noon till 2. And I don't know. We got something else coming up. Cheyenne, what do you got planned for Saturday?
I don't know yet. I was gonna get with you guys about that later.
Oh, it's the scariest part. So, all right.
Okay. Well, with that, mainly, I'm going to get with Amanda later. You will get everything else.
How are the notes? All right.
Yep.
Well, sounds good. Well, everybody have a great day, a great night. We've already spent a large portion of it with this. Good night, Wendell. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to go back and watch it again. Thumbs up, Wendell. So,
Like, share, subscribe.
yeah, exactly. And thank you to Yergs Radio, yergsradio.com, the Parapost Network, and I'm forgetting
Rainbow
somebody.
Radio.
Rainbow Radio, that's right. And WRFN and WDJY. Thank you for allowing us to come into your ears. We do appreciate it.